Live, and I'm your host Becky Maston with my co-host Ryan Wilson, and we have a special guest on with us tonight, Blake Knowles, and it is round 2 of the Columbia River Circuit Finals here in Yakima. Ryan, how was last night out there in the arena for you? You were pulling gates.
I was busy. Rowdy kept me pretty busy, had a lot of things to do, but for the most part I thought it was a really good rodeo. It went smooth, a lot of action. Got to see some young guys really step up and take advantage of some opportunities, and I'm excited to watch tonight.
Well, you stay busy. You're all over the place, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, you should.
That's why
my
you lost
girlfriend, when
25
she felt
pounds.
my shirt, she could tell, that's for sure.
And Blake, how have you been? I mean, you're here and you're bulldogging, and you're also our timed event rep. I mean, you're busy too.
Yeah, I am busy. I'm just glad kind of to be back in the rodeo scene. Pendleton kind of wraps up the fall and the season for that matter, and so you take a kind of a much needed break. But now we're all kind of excited to be back to rodeo, so it's nice to get up here and kind of get back at it and stay pretty busy. Got a couple different hats. One as the steer wrestling contestant here at the rodeo, and then also as a timed event director for the Columbia River Circuit. So,
Well, but to ask you about that, for our listeners and our audience that's watching, what goes into those responsibilities in that role? Because you're busy picking steers and.
Well, each event. Both sides of the arena, both rough stock and timed, has a director for each event. So my overall position actually is kind of just to be the guy that brings them all together, at least on the timed event side. We also have a rough stock director and just kind of, keeps everybody in communication and really is there to look out for mostly, the integrity of the competition and whatever we may need to do to make it as fair as possible and create the best opportunity for our Cowboys in the circuit to succeed.
Makes good sense.
As a representative for those guys, you are their voice. That's a big responsibility going into it. I know there's a lot of responsibility that you enjoy, obviously, as well. Is there some spots that you don't enjoy of it as well? Is there that part of it?
Well,
the headaches,
with responsibility
yes.
Comes responsibility. So that part is a little extra added pressure into as far as, it kind of falls on my, at least I take it as it kind of falls on my shoulders a little bit to just make sure that everything is absolutely as good as it can be. And so, but no matter what, there's always some hiccups here or there, nothing major. But you just don't want to see many of them, and you hope you can head them off and fix it for the next year. But no, I think we have such a great committee and such a great board that works together that, most of the stuff is taken care of far before I ever even see it.
Yes.
So,
well, I think the guys
we're pretty lucky.
Yeah, I think the guys picked the right guy with the voice and to represent them as well.
Yeah.
Well, and I haven't seen you since Eugene. I mean, our paths kind of crossed this season, so kind of take us back through 2019 and how it fared for you.
It started off with a bang. I had maybe one of the best winters I've ever had. Enjoyed some big success at Denver and Houston, and really all through the winter. Just found myself with some great opportunities and was really on the right path. So started probably the first quarter or maybe the first half in a great position. I think I went into the 4th of July in the top 10 in the world. But the problem is, no matter how great and big and the scope of the opportunities are in the winter with the big rodeos, you still got to produce. And really the meat of our season, the meat of our sport happens in July and August. And that's when you're tested, and that's when you got to step up. So you can't fall flat right then. And
there's always a guy that's chasing you.
Well, absolutely, and that's when they may not we may not be going to the $50,000 Houston, but you're going to 7 rodeos a week that add up to tremendous opportunities. Right. So you can't, like I said, you can't hit flat, and
consistency is key to that.
Yeah, and I just kind of for whatever reason I just kind of started to struggle and couldn't finish. So unfortunately didn't get back to the NFR, but stepped back, analyzed it. Been working hard in the off season, and I'm definitely looking forward to wiping the slate clean and getting back after it.
Awesome.
Well, and before we talk about your run last night, tell us a little bit about how the steers are come January right now.
Well, that's one of the tougher things that we have to manage with the dates of our rodeo is falling in January is that a lot of the stock in the timed events we use is older stock, meaning it was used last season. Well, we're 6 months removed from really the blunt of last season.
Right.
So these steers are older, they're used. We've done the best we can to try to pick through and get the very most even herd we can. But, like they say, if there's 2 steers, one's always better than the other. So these cattle create some difficulties. I know in the steer wrestling, you know, there's a few that check off. Obviously, we've tried to cut out the ones that we would call like eliminators, but there's some difficulty there. So I looked tonight to be a lot better. You know, another aspect of the January circuit finals is that guys are maybe a little cold, coming off the bench cold. You know, they haven't ran a steer, they haven't got on a horse for several months now.
Yes,
you know, and as athletes, it's tough to get going again. So I look for tonight to be a big rebound, and really even though last night we had some big scores, big times in every event, I think out of the 12 competitors, instead of seeing 3 or 4 great runs or rides, I look to see maybe 8 or 9 in each event. I look for it to be a really better representation of what we have.
One question that I have for you, Blake, is you compete against the best of the best throughout the PRCA, but we have a really strong circuit of cowboys that you come here at the circuit finals and compete against every year. When you do, I say every year because you're pretty much here every year. You're that Mr. Consistent. So talk about our group of guys that are in steer wrestling here. Yeah,
this circuit since I started rodeoing, really long before I started rodeoing, it's always been known to have great cowboys and great competition, and some of that, and a lot of that is attributed to also the rodeos we have to offer in the Northwest.
Right.
It's a star-studded lineup,
It is.
and so that always brings the best of the best, because what happens is our competitors are constantly competing against the best in the world, because if we have a rodeo, it's worth the NFR types to always go to, because we have great rodeos. So
Northwest,
you're
exactly.
always competing against the best, which makes everybody do their best and get better, and it's kind of a good recipe for great cowboys.
So take us through last night and what's your game plan for tonight?
Last night, in the steer wrestling, especially with this short arena, the run always starts off the corner in the box. I felt like I was late. These are little things that a lot of people probably won't notice, but in this building, 5 or 6 inches off the barrier is a huge
deal.
It is. These, like I mentioned earlier,
There's a few guys that ended up all the way down at the arena last night.
these cattle are older, so they know the
Smart.
deal. If they feel like you've covered them up and their chances are done and you're going to catch them, they give up. If they see like they have some daylight on one side or the other, or maybe they can outrun you, they're going to give it all they got. So so my goal is tonight to really get my horse going better and smoother off the corner, get a better start, and finish the run better.
I believe you're on smoke again tonight?
Yeah, I am. There'll be 3 guys, me and Ryan Botham, Jesse Brown will all be riding my horse Smoke. And the biggest thing in this arena, your mind gets going so fast. You need to slow down, finish these older cattle, try to get flatter falls, try not to hang them up. So that's kind of my goal.
And who's hazing for you?
BJ Trucio is hazing for me.
Do you feel, I don't want to say as an older guy coming into this sport, but do you feel as a guy that's more veteran, more seasoned, coming into this building, been to a little bit of a higher level of events, that it gives you a little bit more of a game plan coming into it for the younger guys that are here?
I don't know. I think we have a group of guys right now, a young group that is as talented as I've ever seen as a group, and so that keeps me on my toes.
Yeah.
Last thing, for a long time,
You don't want Greg coming
they've
in
always
yet.
been like okay with, well, maybe Blake got me, here or there. I think it's kind of like the parent that wrestles with his kid until all of a sudden maybe the kid is taking the parent down. Well, I'm not saying I'm the parent or anything, but at the same time, these guys, they keep you on your game because they're as talented as
You got guys like
anybody.
Kimsey coming up.
Absolutely, Jesse
young,
Brown, Mike McGinn,
Yes,
Dalton.
sir.
Those guys, I better show up and do my job absolutely perfect, or I'm going to get
You and
beat.
Dalton, you guys train a lot, or you guys practice a lot, quite
Forever
a bit together,
we have.
being right there.
Yes,
Yeah,
forever.
you can tell.
Yeah.
He's really starting to settle into himself. It seems like he's starting to really settle down and have fun and putting some runs together, and things are starting to click for him.
He's he is an absolute very talented steer wrestler, and I feel him. I see him becoming way more comfortable with the competition side of the sport, and really recognizing the different competitive situations, whether it's really take a chance at the barrier, or maybe whatever it is. It's
He's
no
starting to
different than
settle,
any
yeah.
sport.
Yes, sir.
You always have kind of a plan to make, and I've been impressed with how I've noticed him making the right plans and executing.
Yeah, he's definitely one to watch right now. He's really impressed me, and it's been really fun to watch him.
Yeah, and like I said, there's 5 other guys that we could say the same thing about.
Exactly, yes, sir.
And I look for them to all find their way to the NFR
Yep.
soon.
I feel like they're all great representatives of our circuit, and it's good to watch them.
Yeah.
Well, on a final note, before we let you go and get ready for tonight, let's just talk about, not only are you a steer wrestler, you have a beautiful wife and a beautiful little girl. You know, you have a great family, and they themselves have their own little presence in the Western world and social media. They're little fashionistas, both your wife and your daughter. How are they doing?
They're doing really good. Yes, I'm very lucky and blessed to have an awesome wife, and we have a fun little daughter, and every day is fun. We have a good time, and I always get a big kick out of whatever they have going on, whether it's maybe a little shoot or something they're doing or whatever, and it keeps my mind off of rodeo a little bit because I always get a good laugh out of it, I guess, and I really enjoy it.
Does she have daddy wrapped around her finger for the most part?
I'd say
so, yes, sir.
Yeah.
Okay, so circuit finals, once we get through here, where are you heading?
I will be competing in Denver next weekend,
Okay.
so yeah, it's time to get back at it.
All right, well, I look to see you a lot this summer, win a lot this summer, because I missed you at the finals this year, so
Well,
we need to get you back there.
Absolutely, yeah, that's not a fun one to watch. It's way more fun to compete at.
I
So.
bet it is, yes,
It's
sir.
more fun in the media room, too, and I get to cheer on some steers, because I didn't have anyone this year, so yeah, I'll look for you this
Yeah.
season.
Well, thanks
so.
for having me.
Yeah, thanks for coming on.
Appreciate it, man.
Yep,
Thank you very
for
much.
sure.
That's Blake Knowles, and we're sure to see him down the road with lots of wins under his belt. So, Blake, thanks for joining us. And we're going to actually, right now, let Blake go. Blake, I'll let you step off, and then we're going to start running down through our roster tonight, our day sheet tonight. And we have a couple more guests and a couple more interviews before the performance tonight at 7. Because I know you got to go work.
Yes.
You know, you're kind of busy.
A little bit.
He goes and goes and goes. So, okay, in the bareback riding, we want to give you some updates. Kevin Lusk is out.
He is out. I just actually just saw him in the Justin Sports Medicine room. Broken wrist. He's going to be out for a little bit. 2 broken bones. So
Oh, he really?
in the wrist. So
Okay.
he went and got checked out by the veterinarian. That's how we do it in the rodeo world. And nope.
Speaking of veterinarians, Jed McKinley, it looks like, is also out.
We did. We had another bull rider.
No, that's Jed.
Oh, sorry, Jed
Jones.
McKinley.
Jed
Sorry, yeah, I
McKinley.
was going straight to
Yeah.
bull riding. Sorry, fans. Yeah, Jed McKinley is out as well.
So, you know, we had some great bareback rides last night. It was an interesting first night. I thought the scores were a little low, but it's the first night. Everyone's getting settled and getting their jitters. Coy took away the win last night. We both thought he had an 81.5 last night. Ends up he was actually an 83.5.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, he's sitting on top tonight. And actually, the one thing I want to say about tonight is he has drawn Barracuda. And Barracuda is this year's Columbia River Circuit Bareback Horse of the Year.
Yes.
So that is going to be a
Very
great
exciting.
matchup. So I'm going to pick Coy again.
Okay.
Who do you got?
Oh.
Because you can't go.
I'll
now.
go with Trenton.
Okay, Trenton had a great ride last night
Yep,
too.
the
you
ball
know.
man.
Yeah, they were all consistent. So, yeah, so we're down to 6, I think, in the bareback riding. Tie down roping. Bo Pickett won last night, and he had an 8 flat, but you know he's got a few coming up behind him, chasing him. It'll be interesting to see where they all fare tonight. I think right behind him at an 8-9 was Jason Miner, so that was your pick.
Yeah, I know. Yep.
Hey, you know you got to get that.
Hey, my competitiveness is coming here. I don't want you to win on this one, all right?
I know. So tonight,
I'm gonna stick with my man.
You're gonna stick with Jason?
I'm gonna stick with Jason. I think he was just kind of getting settled in last night. Got that first one under his belt. He was probably taking care of a bunch of kids right before, so he wasn't focused. But no, I think he's gonna come back, and what a beautiful little family he has. Have you see?
I have not met all his little.
Oh
family.
man, it was awesome to watch all of it. Haley, hats off to you, girl. Hats off to you.
I'll have to meet Haley soon. You know, I went with Caleb last night. He ended up breaking the barrier. He would have had a good run. He had 7.5. That would have won him the round. So I'm going to stick with Caleb tonight and see how that works. Steer wrestling. We just talked with Blake. You know, that can be anyone's game. Last night was Dalton Massey at 4.4. But gosh, you know, they were right behind them.
Yeah.
It was Dalton and I think Mike and I can't remember who was sitting
Dalton was
there.
on fire. Yeah, that was fast last night.
Yeah, 4.4 is really fast on the first.
And
night.
then even JD Travis came in last night. Haven't seen Travis here for a few years at the Columbia River Circuit Finals. Kind of like Blake had said, he drew one of those older steers. You know, that last night that was a little bit smarter to the game. Kind of came out there a little bit slow, and it really set him up. And he had to really use that veteran kind of status that he knows how to do and take advantage of it and make the best of the situation.
And what I have to say about that is, if anyone was listening close to what Blake had to say and looking at this now, we don't give. I think a lot of the fans don't really give the stock as much credit for being as smart as they really are. You know, this isn't
Yeah.
just them hopping down
No.
on the steers and pulling
I
them
can
down.
vouch for it. Trying a whole new sport now in this rodeo.
Oh yeah, you're a team roping.
Yeah,
Right?
so
Wow.
I'm starting to see what some of those guys were going through and talking about, and you know, this steer's fast. You got to see this steer out here a little bit. You got to think about certain situations. This steer will come to you. There's a lot of stuff going on in those guys' mind that they're preparing themselves for, and it's yeah, for the most part, you know, some of those fans don't see that, but there's a lot going on there, and it's good to watch.
Yeah, so it'll be fun because they know their steers and they
So
know
pay
their
attention, fans.
Pay attention. Yeah, because there's some that'll just stop in all 4s and they'll go right over them.
Yep.
So, saddle bronc riding. I want to go ahead first before we go over our picks for tonight and do a recap. We caught up we had Clayberry catch up with Joe Harper a little bit ago and see how he's feeling. He got bucked off last night, but he is currently sitting first in the year end. So go ahead and watch this video with Clay and Joe.
Hello everyone, Clayberry here, and I am here with our current year-end leader, Joe Harper. Joe, so you got bucked off last night. Tonight you are riding major cover, I believe it is. What are your plans to kind of change the mood for tonight?
Everything I do when I'm riding bucking horses, I don't look back at the ones that I got on last time and just go forward and do the best that you can on the next one. Anytime you start looking too far back, you can get critical on yourself, and in this game that doesn't work.
Yeah, that 15-minute rule is a big component in rodeo. So what do you do to typically train? Because our circuit finals used to be in November, and now it's obviously in January, and it's kind of a little bit longer, a little bit more in the winter. What do you do to extend your training or change your training now that circuit finals is pushed?
Well, mostly the biggest difference is that you don't really look at it like that. You try to keep rodeoing and keep going to different rodeos that are going on. And I go home and work a lot and ranch, but for the most part, you just keep getting on bucking horses throughout the year where we're rodeoing professionally. That's not too hard to do.
Yeah. So like I said, you have major cover tonight. What are your thoughts on this horse?
I think he's an awesome horse. I've seen him a lot. He's one of those horses that you can look really good on, or he can make you look like a complete fool. He's a really good horse, and I'm excited to draw him.
Well, awesome. Good luck tonight.
Thank you.
Joe's class act.
Yeah.
You know, he's just a good kid. And I say kid because, you know, you guys are all kids in my book, but.
Oh, that's so sweet of you.
But he did really, he was starting to have a great ride last night. He said his ring went a little long and it got him, but he's forgotten about it and he's on to the next one. So let's talk about on to the next one. I know tonight we have a couple NFR horses up in the saddle bronc riding. I want to talk about Clay Stremler because he's riding Cool Toddy, and I can tell you from watching this summer, it doesn't matter who gets on Cool Toddy. If you ride that horse for 8 seconds, you're gonna get a paycheck.
Yep.
And it was fun.
Yeah, she's known.
Yeah.
She's good at her game. Known. Amongst the bronc riders, they all know exactly who she is, what a game plan, what the game plan is going at her. She's earned her right, and
Yep. She's saddle bronc horse of the year in the
yeah,
Columbia
she's
River Circuit.
been in the National Finals rodeo. You know, that's another thing, fans, that you guys don't realize, or if you guys do realize, these contestants work all year long to get to the National Finals rodeos, and these stock contractors try to put together the best stock that they can provide for the guys to get on. And these horses and these bulls, they earn their right to get to the National Finals rodeo as well. So they get voted on and they get selected, and it's a great honor for those stock contractors as well.
And I have to tell you, being a stock contractor's kid, I know the heart behind the stock contractors, and I like to interview them a lot of the times because they love their horses and they take great pride in taking them down the road. I don't know how many times we led our horses, they were gentle, you could come up to them, but they knew their job. When that chute opened up, they were ready to rock and roll and do their job. So Cool Toddy is one of those horses, and he caught my attention.
Yeah,
in
Big
St.
Ben
Paul.
and Flying Five, they've done a great job for a long time putting
Yeah.
together a really good bunch of horses, and there's something that they should be really proud of. And I know in the Columbia River Circuit, we're really proud to have them.
Yeah, and then they also have out tonight another previous bucking horse of the year, is second behind Cool Toddy this year, and was at the NFR, and that is Spring Planting.
Yes,
another great
always
horse.
another great horse. Yes.
So you've got
And it comes from a bloodline of horses. I mean, if you
Yeah.
you can go back, mothers and daughters, and that's another really cool thing about it too. There's generations and there's families these horses have. They've raised, there's bucking horses out there that are raising babies that
Yep.
are coming up and bucking.
Yep.
So it's a pretty cool deal.
Yep. I love the bucking horses.
You can't tell she's a Bronc fan, Bronc Riders
I like,
fan.
can you? I like Broncs. I like Bears. I like the
You
bucking
like-
horses. You're probably more of the bucking bulls.
Oh, yeah.
I like the horses. So okay, so last night in the saddle bronc riding, we had 76 with Tate Owen and
Yep.
Sam Harper. We'll get their video posted out. Had fun visiting with them.
There's a lot of people watching the Bronc riding last night.
Yeah, and they're just, it's interesting because that top four it's Joe, Tate, and then it's Johnny Espelin, and then it's Sam Harper. So both Joe and Johnny got bucked off. So then we had Tate and we had Sam who rode. So it's just fun watching that bantering back and forth in top
Yeah.
four because we got two brothers and we just got camaraderie in the saddle bronc riding.
Oh yeah.
So it'll be fun tonight. Who are you going with tonight?
And the Bronc riding? Oh, let's go with. I'm gonna go with Hart. You know what? I'm gonna throw this out there, and I don't know. I might. Hayden, don't let me down. Obviously, Johnny Espelin, hands down, one of my favorite guys in there. Last night was fixing to be a pile of points. It
Yeah.
was really impressive watching. Johnny's one of those guys that he's
He
gonna
was
hang.
riding
He's gonna
hard.
yeah. He's gonna hang it on the line every time. He's a fan favorite, and if you want to talk cowboy, that's just good watching. But there was something I saw last night in Hayden that I just hadn't seen in a long time. I've never even seen Hayden stick it on one like that as much as he did. He got off to a really good start, and I talked to him at the end, and he said, "I just got to learn to start him and finish him." And I was like, "Well, you darn sure started it, buddy. So you just got to learn how to finish it." And I talked to him today, and he said he was feeling good, and he has a big smile on his face, and he said he's just happy to be here, and that's another one of those young guys that was just capitalizing on the opportunity that was given to him. And I'm a big Hall fan,
Okay.
the whole family.
Okay.
So Hayden, don't let me down, little man.
I actually, as much as I want to pick Joe tonight or Sam tonight, I actually am going to pick Jack because he had a strong out last night, but he's got Spring Planting, and that's a matchup I think.
Okay,
we're
and
gonna
then
be
we'll just go
surprised
ahead and
about.
give. I believe that you're you know a Bronc rider, right?
Yeah.
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 You married one.
Yeah, he's behind the
Yeah,
camera
we're
right
just gonna
now.
go ahead and say that he's gonna go ahead and pick Johnny, just so that
Okay.
way we're
Okay.
safe.
So is that who he's got in his pool?
that
Is that who you got
way
in your
it's safe.
pool?
He's yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll take it.
All
Okay,
right.
cool,
All
he's
right,
in
well,
there.
Okay, so because there is a pool going around.
just
There's
got- there-
fantasy rodeo teams are going
Oh.
around back here. So
Oh.
some Crystal's got some fantasy rodeo.
you
I didn't
guys-
get on it though. I don't know, Crystal. You didn't give me enough.
You're not supposed to admit to illegal gambling on on.
Well, they're gambling for gum, so I don't
Oh.
think it counts. There's no
Well,
dollar
it's trail
rate
mix. I want
exchange.
in.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So we are moving on to the team roping. Last night it was Garrett Rogers and Jake Miner.
Yeah.
It seems like no matter what, there's always a Miner in the timed event somewhere doing something really good.
Yeah, we're pretty blessed to have them up here in the Northwest. That's for sure. What a great family.
We are. And, those first three slots were all in the fives. We had a 5-2, 5-4, 5-5. So I know we're going to have some fast times tonight. Calgary and Jason
That steer was kind of really hard, the track right there around that corner.
Yeah.
That steer was I almost kind of jumped away from Calgary's loop a little bit. I know Calgary looked pretty frustrated going out of there. He's a guy that puts a lot on his shoulders. There's a reason why he's in the situation that he is in, because he rises to the challenge and tries to be great every time. I think that those two roped really well together, and they shuck it off last night, no big
Yep.
thing. And that's
Yep.
the reason why they roped together. I think it really helps out Jake a lot, roping with a younger guy. It makes him have fun.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that Jake went right back in the situation and told Calgary not to worry about it.
shake it off.
Shake it off, bud. We got another one.
Yep.
So I'm going to go ahead and keep my pick. I'm not leaving Cal. He's my
Okay.
buddy.
All right.
I'm honest to him. Calgary and Jake are going to come through and win it tonight.
Okay. Well, I'm going to pick the Miners.
And they are going to win
Yeah,
it tonight.
I'm gonna go with the Miner brothers because they were.
I gotta
second
go
last
find.
night.
I gotta go find Karen and give her a hug. 'Cause I
Okay.
used to do it before the bull ride, and every time with Kane. So I gotta go give her a hug.
Okay.
Okay.
So
we'll make
like
it
I
work.
said, he's running all over the place. He's everywhere. So if you're here and you're watching
Yeah.
the finals, he's got the
Yep.
maroon shirt on, brown hat. He's everywhere. You give him. He likes hugs.
Yep, I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's all
Yeah.
good.
Okay, so we have two more events. We got the barrel racing. Now the barrel racing last night, Cheyenne won with and she's right. Not Cheyenne. I'm sorry, Amberly.
Yep.
Amberly won with I think it was a 13-4.
Yep.
4?
On a new horse.
Which
Or
is
not a
not
new
that
horse,
cute.
not a new horse,
It's
just a
just-
different
yeah.
horse that she's been working on for a
Yeah.
while. You know,
Yeah.
she running these horses all year long. It's a lot for those girls. You know, putting those horses. People don't realize that running those horses around those barrels and making those horses take those sharp turns. It's a lot on them. You know,
Oh.
and these girls are really, really particular about their horses. It's just like a family member. They give
Yep.
everything they can to them. The more you take care of your horse, the more it's going to take care of you. And it might go a little more excessive in the barrel world where
Yeah,
it comes
well,
to
and
taking care of them. But she's got. I think it's really cool that she's riding Ducky. Bringing him, yeah, he did great. Bringing him in, kind of showing him the lights, letting
Yep.
him see the crowd, and
Yep.
I think that she's trying to just get another backup plan, and it's always great to have more tools in the belt. So
Yeah, and Ducky and her did really great last night. We
They
did
did.
get an interview round win with her. We'll have that posted later. It's interesting as she talks about the different personalities between Paige and Ducky. They're like night and day, and that's kind of fun for her. But at the same time, it gets her a little stressed at times. But
Oh, yeah.
she said he did his job last night, and he was happy. And we'll post that out for you later. But we do have another quick interview that we want to go to with Clay Berry. She got to catch up. We have a mother-daughter team with us here at the
Yes.
Circuit Finals, and that's pretty special. So Clay got a few minutes with them today, and we want to bring that interview to you now. So just one moment.
Hello everyone, Clay Berry here, and I am here with the mother-daughter duo, Cindy Woods and Kristen Brashears. So Kristen, this is your first time here, and Cindy, we were talking earlier, this is about your 8th. How does it feel to be here together?
It's super fun. It's something I've worked for a long time to be able to run with my mom. So I've got to go to a bunch of circuit finals with her and see her throughout the years. So it's fun to finally be here.
You should feel like a veteran.
Yeah, kind of.
And how does it feel to you, Cindy?
Oh, it's amazing. I actually, honestly, didn't legitimately qualify because somebody couldn't come. I qualified, and I wasn't going to come, and then I thought, I can't miss it because
Yeah.
this is her first final, so it's awesome.
And competing against each other, does that push you guys to go better, or are you like, oh, you know, like mom does good, I want to do good too?
I want to beat her.
We're very competitive.
Very competitive.
But I think it's in a good way.
Yeah, it is in a good way. It just makes you push harder to be better.
Yep, I think that's an awesome way to be. And so we're going into round 2. What are you guys' plans for tonight?
Barrels up.
That's always the main goal. Fast and keep your barrels up.
And how is it, because it's kind of hard to tell on the little bit that people can see on social media, but the arena's super, super tiny, and you don't even get a full stop. I mean, it's kind of like the NFR where you have to run straight through the gate. How do you guys like handle that and not have that space to stop normally?
For me, it's just gas pedal down, and which is why I hit a barrel. So sometimes it doesn't work, but you just gotta go.
Basically the same thing. You got to go fast.
It's funny though, the timing is so different because we in the Northwest are used to the large pins.
Yeah.
So I usually am laughing because by the third barrel, I'm laughing because I'm so far behind my horse, and she's just kind of going, "Hold on, let's go." So it's a challenge,
Yeah.
timing wise.
Yep, it's almost one of those times when you need that seatbelt. You're like, okay, as long as I'm still on, we're good.
That has been a consideration.
Yeah, well, awesome. Good luck tonight, ladies.
Thank you.
Thanks, we need it.
So as you can see, we have some interesting stories lining up here at the Circuit Finals.
It
I
is.
think the barrels will be interesting tonight.
yeah, and I can totally touch bases on that whole family though, what it's like. So that's pretty cool to see that.
Yeah, and I would love to say I gotta stick with Amberly. I mean, her and Ducky are kind of in zone, so I'm gonna have to stick with Amberly tonight. They might one of the other girls might surprise us tonight and take Amberly, but when she's in a zone and she and her horse are in a zone, it's really hard to get around her. As long as they can keep the barrels up.
I'm gonna go with Cindy.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
she was competitive. She was talking. She was like, "I'm gonna win. I want to win."
Hey, it's all about you
Yeah.
know mental game, right?
I'm going with Cindy.
Okay. Speaking of mental game, we're going to bring on a friend of ours right now, since we're now moving into the bull riding. You lost your pen.
I did. I just lose that. I'm not gonna get it. I'm not gonna get it, guys.
All
I
right.
already wrote what I needed, so.
And you know this how this
Yeah.
next segment's going to go. We are going to bring on our friend from the south. Well, for me, it's from the south because I'm over up north. Mr. Brady Portnier. He is our Columbia River Circuit bull rider. Brady, I have not seen you in forever.
Good to see
Yeah,
you,
it's been a
buddy.
while. How are you guys?
We're just going to hug here on film because I haven't seen Brady in forever.
How can you not hug Brady?
I know. Where's your dog?
She's sitting in the hotel room.
She's
Oh.
grumpy.
Yeah.
She's grumpy.
She is
Marla
like
was the star of the show last year.
Yeah, she likes it.
She's always a star.
Okay, Brady, you have a lot of catching up to do. You gotta fill us all in on how your 2018 season was. Because you're like Blake. You were another one that just seemed like we crossed paths.
Yep.
You were up when I wasn't there, and the next night I was there, and you were gone.
You know, I had a pretty good season. I couldn't complain at all. Yeah, shoot, we went to over 100 rodeos last year.
Holy
Went
moly.
everywhere. Spent 2 weeks in Canada. Had a couple other trips up there anyways. My partner, he got laid up in June. So I did a lot of ducking
traveling
around.
with?
I traveled with Roscoe
That's what I
Darbo.
thought. Okay.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to touch bases with you on a little bit. You're traveling with one guy, you kind of get a game plan set up, you and him. I know you guys are really close, almost best buddies for the most part. Brothers, it seems like, for the most part. You get this game plan, you get the system of traveling together, you get this thing of interrupt. People don't realize that. You guys have to interrupt together.
That's
That's
right.
a huge part in our sport. How does that play a role going into it now that that game plan changes a little bit for you? Now it's a new system. Does it affect you, or do you keep rolling with the ball and keep having fun?
Yeah,
Well-
because Roscoe was the main man who always did the entering.
Yeah, he took, when it was his turn to take care of the entering, he did a very good job of it. And we kind of go back and forth, but honestly, he does it more often than I do, safe to
Is he
say.
the more responsible brher?
I don't know if he's
You're
more,
respon-
he's pretty responsible.
Book responsible.
He's I'll get things done. He's more of a procrastinator. But
You all have your strong points.
as far as getting it done in time, it's always going to be done.
He's
in
the
time.
strategist,
Yeah.
right? Like
Me?
where to go? No,
Oh,
Roscoe.
Darbo, yeah.
Darbo, yeah.
He's a good
Yeah,
strategist.
he's a strategist. Where to go, when to interrupt. Yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah, you guys have talked about that out there. That's funny. So, okay, tell us where your biggest wins were this 2018.
Let me think. My biggest win in the circuit was Lewiston, and I just kind of walked around everywhere else up around here.
Kind of chipped at him. it seemed
Yeah, I
like
guess
a lot
that's-
last year.
More or less all I can say. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was a big chipper last year.
Yeah.
Well, you are second right now behind Jordan.
Mm-hmm.
How are you feeling about the rest of the next couple days?
Oh, what can I say? We've been, guys been in this position a couple different times. Jordan, he's gonna ride. That's all there is to it. So all I can do is stay on my bull and not worry about it. Let it play out how it'll be. But
Well, and this isn't new to you. You've been to Kissimmee for the Ram National Circuit Finals. You had the title just a couple years ago. This is just another bull, another day at the office.
and that's the way it is. Whether it's here or it's at home, it's always just another bull. So enjoy it as it comes.
6th time you've been here to the Columbia River Circuit Finals.
Yes, sir.
You've been to Kissimmee.
Mhm.
You know the game plan, how to get there. Has anything changed for you besides just sticking to that one bull? I know there's the fans out there that are kind of curious about, is anything elevated or has anything changed coming into this, or just another rodeo? Stick to your game plan, go out, ride your bulls.
There's definitely a sense of, I'd say, prestigiousness coming to the Columbia River Circuit Finals. I remember being a little kid and when my dad was riding, and it'd be in Redmond, Oregon, and I was always happy to go, and it was a big deal for me then. And I like to think it's a big deal still.
Cool.
They made it so it didn't count this year, and I think that affected a couple entries. But next year that it'll count for the world standings. We'll see a boost and the competition stiffen up even more so.
I kind of look at it, though, that may be the case, and that kind of stinks. It's not how we would prefer it, but money's money,
Oh yeah.
and it's still money in your pocket.
That's what
to
we
get
do
you
for a
done.
living.
Yeah.
Being in the Circuit Finals being in November, coming right out of September, you get done with Pendleton. You get done with all of our rodeos up here in the Northwest, all of our great rodeos that we're lucky to have. You get a month off. Normally our Circuit Finals is right there.
Right.
So you're kind of fresh, you're still feeling good. Now it's moved to January. You get a bunch of time off. But also, you're getting ready to go into a really big season and a really big busy time for you. I mean, you're straight out of here, you're going into Denver. He's getting ready to get on a plane, fly to Denver, back to Portland, back to Denver, back to Portland, Fort Worth. So
Yeah.
things are busy for you.
Yeah.
Does the rodeo being in January kind of get you fired up, get you stoked for the rodeos around here right now, or get you ready for the season, or do you like it in November?
I liked it both ways. I liked it having it at the end of the year because it felt more like a true finals, and it was before the NFR and everything, all the dust was settled.
Yes.
Having it this way in the new year, I really don't mind it at all. You get to see all my buddies and friends start the year out fresh. And Yakima and the Sundome, they treat us pretty well here. I can't complain at all. So
Okay, tonight, Crazy Hair, a Big Ben, Flying Five.
Yes, sir.
You've seen this bull.
I've
You
seen
know
him a handful of
You know
times,
exactly
yeah.
what he is.
Yep,
I know him. He's wild. He's out there. You can be a pile of points on him. And
absolutely.
you can win the rodeo.
That's the plan, anyways.
Okay, good deal. I like it. I
Well-
don't want to hear anything else.
Wait a minute, you guys can't shake hands yet. I got more questions for both of
Okay.
y'all.
Okay.
You know
Okay.
the, you know
We
the
got
bulls.
it.
Okay.
You know the bulls, but we've got 4 NFR bulls in this pin. Now
Yep.
I'm looking at this going, this kind of looks like it might be somewhat of an eliminator pin if it say they were at the NFR.
Wow.
Tell us about this pin.
Well, I wouldn't say they're necessarily eliminators, but these are definitely the
buckers.
buckers.
Buckers,
Yeah.
okay.
Not quite the TV pin, but you'll see some high points.
We've
in
got-
You got
we've
Mike
got-
back there. You don't want to hear,
yeah.
you don't want to hear him
Well-
saying that TV pin.
Well, and we've got, let's see here, I just want to touch on this real quick because it's a testament again to our stock contractors. We have Primetime, Rewind, Tequila, and Crazy Hair, your horse, or your bull. All,
Yes, ma'am.
All NFR.
Yep, they're all 4 of them bulls are bucking some guns. I've been on all 4 of them actually, except for
Okay.
Crazy Hair, and now that I think about it, I haven't got the win on all 3 of them. So
Well, tonight you're going to change that.
There's some good
I was
bulls.
gonna say I'm pretty
So
sure
hopefully
I'm pretty sure that you and the whiskey are buddies. You guys have been together a couple times, right?
Me
Or
and
tequila.
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 I've actually put
Last
my
year.
rope on Rewind on 4 occasions.
Really.
Yeah, he's had my number. He's a good bull.
So that's another thing, fans, that you guys might want to, like, it's cool for you guys to know too. These guys see these bulls throughout the year, so a bull can buck him off at one rodeo, and it's kind of a rematch deal for him another time, and it's kind of that time to get a little bit of revenge.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, and I have one other question. Do you participate in that call with the director to kind of go over what bulls y'all want to see
Oh,
here?
yes, absolutely. Yeah. Roscoe and Mike Sparks, they kind of run the show as far as the bulls. And yeah, they involve me, and they involve everybody.
Right.
So it's a pretty neat deal. We all just kind of come to an agreement, and
Alright.
sometimes the guy will say this bull shouldn't have been there, that. But for the most part, it's
They do a good job.
Yes, ma'am, absolutely.
All right. Well, there you have it. I'll let you go get ready for your ride tonight. And
Good luck tonight,
we'll
buddy.
hope to see you
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate
See
you
you
guys.
in the winner's circle.
You
Oh,
want-
look, I
yep.
get another hug. Oh, it's a huggy night. That's what, moms get around here.
Oh yeah.
All right, Brady, thanks. Well, that is our lineup for tonight. One thing I wanted to touch on real quick before we wrap up tonight is I was here this morning and it was breakaway roping.
Yes.
We had 3 rounds of breakaway roping.
Yep.
And at the end of it, they had their average winner, their year-end winner, and they had their awards up top. It ended up being year-end winner was Sarah Crosley, and your average winner was Jennifer Casey. And we will post out those videos later. But they were really excited. JJ Harrison, you know what? Thank you for being such a great supporter of.
He is. He
of
always
the
puts so much time
breakaways.
into it. He always
Yeah.
has.
Sarah's ecstatic about her saddle. So breakaway roping is really becoming a big thing. PRCA and the WPRA and the Columbia River Circuit is Jennifer's heading that out.
Yeah,
and
she's been
growing
doing
that
great
out.
work. It's a true passion for her, and
Yeah.
something that she truly enjoys. You can tell, and those girls are all great representatives
Yep.
of the sport. Or, the girls up here are really competitive in it. The breakaway roping is pretty strong up here, so it's great to see that. And yeah, I hope it
Best
goes
in
well.
the West. That's
Yes, ma'am.
what we
Best in the
hashtag
West.
Northwest Finest. That's what we are up here. So we are going to say goodnight, and the rodeo is going to be going live just in under a half hour. Tune into Instagram and Snapchat for all the highlights, and then come back here on Facebook, and we'll bring you the updates on who won round 2. Have a good night.